Live from the broadcasting house here in the county of Nairobi, this is the great KBC, and just in time for lunchtime news on the 7th day of June 2023. You can be part of this conversation via all our social media platforms as we are live. My name is Ben Troy Njue, and Brian Muraru will be our sign language interpreter for this live newscast. Straight to the news. We do begin our live coverage in Siaya County, where the embattled Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduor has denied accusations of misuse of office and intimidating the finance procurement staff. Oduor, through his lawyers led by Paul Nyamodi, told the ad hoc committee formed to investigate the allegations tabled against him that he was not involved in procurement and that the only time he interacted with the officers is when he was performing delegated tasks given by Governor James Orengo.
Try to convince us.
In their evidence before the Siaya County Assembly Ad Hoc Committee, several senior county government officials, among them Acting Chief Officer Finance Jack Odinga and the Director of Procurement Martin Okwata, claimed that Oduor bullied them in an attempt to have them favor certain suppliers.
You can confidently confirm to this committee that the DG summoned you. And even before you confirm, in the DG's response, he admits that he kind of summoned you.
The ad hoc committee, chaired by the Yimbo East Member of County Assembly Francis Otiato, was also informed that the Siaya Deputy Governor's Office chair cost over 1 million shillings.
My concern is on the Executive Orthopedic Desk Chair and Seat Fully Sprung, 1,120,000. And I want you to know that. And I think, Mr. Chair, we are finishing with this committee, and there's something wrong somewhere.
In respect to the matter before committee, shall be the truth, the whole truth.
But Oduor was represented by a team of 3 lawyers led by Paul Nyamodi, denied the accusations of misuse of office and intimidating the finance and procurement staff, saying he was not involved in procurement.
The Deputy Governor did not know that the renovation of his office was going to cost 18 million, and B, William Oduor did not push anybody, least of all Jared Abaya, to procure the 18 million.
Oduor will know his fate on Thursday this week when the ad hoc committee reports back to the Assembly. The impeachment motion against the Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduor was sponsored by East Asembo MCA Gordon Onguru. Tilio Marco for Lunchtime News.
From Siaya County to the national prayers held earlier today, President William Ruto has emphasized the need for leaders to develop virtues of forgiveness and reconciliation. The head of state, who graced the national prayer breakfast in Nairobi, called on politicians not to sabotage each other for political advantage, saying such action will punish the vulnerable.
The 20th edition of the annual National Prayer Breakfast at Safari Park Hotel in Nairobi. It is here that the head of state made a clarion call to all elected leaders to forgive one another.
Let us be reconciled with God. Let us be reconciled to one another. Let us also be reconciled to our collective aspirations in order for us to live up to the true promise of this moment and our common destiny.
The president faulting those on revenge missions for political advantage.
Although our ideas concerning the means, strategies, and policies of achieving this vision may differ, we must remain cognizant of a line no one should ever cross, of wishing that this nation fail.
President William Ruto at the same time lauded the members of parliament for convening the national prayer breakfast at a time the country is going through immense challenges that needs divine intervention.
Isaiah 1:18 reminds us to reason together. Today, we are in the midst of a robust national conversation about public policies. Our democratic culture has endowed us with a rare opportunity to reason together and reconcile with our current realities. We all agree, seated here, members of parliament from all sides, leaders from all sides, that we
The National Prayer Breakfast was held under the theme Reconciliation and God and Man. Timothy Kibnusu for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, police in KBC County have launched investigations into the death of a 53-year-old woman who was allegedly gang raped alongside her daughter by unknown assailants. The 53-year-old woman and her daughter, both mentally challenged, were waylaid on their way to a nearby trading center. The mother fell ill following the ordeal and succumbed to pneumonia. Locals are demanding an expedited probe into the incident and that assistance be extended to the orphaned young woman.
Huyu mama nilimjunga, hata mimi nilishangaa. Nimebaki mimi peke yangu, itakuwaje? Nitaisiaje na hawa watoto wake? Kwa hivyo ninaomba unionee huruma, unisaidie na hawa watoto, alafu Mungu anisaidie ni wajunge.
Omba serikali aza chief weneo wa hili la Njue location awachukulia hatua angarau ili wananchi watulie, wakae vizuri. Ndio maana hata haya yanakuja kwa sababu watu wengi wanaranda, uwezi jua nani huyu. Sasa tunaomba serikali tusaidie.
Elsewhere, Kigumo Level 5 Hospital in Githunguri, Campbell County, which has for years been grappling with congestion, dilapidated infrastructure and as well as inadequate equipment, is headed for a major facelift. This follows a partnership between Campbell County government and Safaricom that will see the facility renovated to include a new maternity wing.
Speaking after a meeting at Kigumo Level 5 Hospital in Githunguri, officials from the Campbell County government and Safaricom said renovations will improve the capacity of the facility in order to meet the needs of the area residents. Campbell County Executive Committee member for Health, Dr. Elias Maina, said the County Health Department is working tirelessly to ensure all health facilities in the region are well equipped for improved service delivery.
Kigumo Level 4 is one of those facilities that we are undertaking renovations. This hospital, there are many areas that we are going to do renovations. We are going to change the ceilings, the floor, the theater, the maternity, the beddings, and also equip this facility to the standard that is equal to the name of Level 4.
We look forward to continued partnership with the Kiambu County under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Wamatangi to ensure that communities continue to thrive and also not just thrive but are also able to play a key role in accessing quality health care.
Safaricom head of projects, Henry Kilonzo, said the institution will inject 47 million shillings to build a new maternity wing at Kigumo Level 5 Hospital.
Through the trustees, is going to fund the construction of a modern maternity with theater, with a newborn, and all the other special services as per the Ministry of Health specifications.
Githunguri Member of County Assembly, Joseph Muhinja, who is also the chairman of the County Assembly Committee on Health, said they had already approved close to 500 million shillings supplementary budget to fund various health-related projects starting this month.
We always say a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. When we start with this, we will go far. Because with this donation, I believe it will improve our health facility.
Beatrice Getonyingetich, Channel 1, Lunchtime News.
From Campbell back to the National Prayer Day today, the theme of this year's National Prayer Breakfast was reconciliation with God and man. But with the current political differences, the theme apparently did not resonate with opposition leaders, most of who gave the event a wide berth. The stalemate stalling the bipartisan talks and the controversy rocking the finance bill set the tone. Speeches by Kenya Kwanza politicians led by President William Ruto, who seized the opportunity to rally support for the government's plan for the nation.
based. We had an issue-based election. It is also correct that we had a closely contested election. We must remain cognizant of a line no one should ever cross, of wishing that this nation fails. As we participate in this important debate on the finance bill, let us ask God to open our eyes and enable us clearly see the real choices that we have to make. And I want to remind you the words of Daniel 11:32 that say, even in the context where we are, Daniel reminds us that, but those who know their God, they will be strong.
Moving on, Kilifi County is staring at an environmental pollution hazard after waste holding grounds in the area were vandalized. Residents have now been forced to throw waste material in undesignated places.
Kilifi County Executive Committee member for Water, Environment and Blue Economy, Omar Said, raised concerns about the dysfunctional state of designated water holding grounds due to rampant theft of waste bins by vandals. In response, Said's department intends to actively engage the community to promote awareness on the significance of proper waste management for a clean environment and plans to take strict action against the violators of the Environmental Act.
Moto kubwa ambayo imetuchanganya kama serikali ni hii ya kuwa tunaweka dustbin. Tukiweka ya plastic inamwagiliwa jivu ndani na chomeka. Tukiweka ya chuma hiyo dustbin inakatwa mlango unauza scrap. Sasa tunasaidiana namna gani? Lazima sote tushirikiane, si ndio? Kabla hujasema serikali saidia ama serikali fanya hivi, wewe umefanya nini kama mwananchi?
The department has also partnered with the World Wildlife Fund Kenya to create employment opportunities through waste recycling. The chair of the Water and Environment Committee, Karissa Ngirani, announced the passing of a bill to regulate waste disposal and encourage recycling for employment and revenue generation.
We recognize, like other players in the circular economy, that there is value in plastic waste, and we have worked in Mombasa with the informal waste collectors or waste managers and trained them on collecting, segregating plastics so that they are able to sell the same to crushers to enable recycling.
Tuko na sheria yetu ya solid waste management ambayo tulitengeneza ya kuhakikisha kwamba takataka zote zinahifadhiwa pale zinapotakikana kwa dump sites. Na ni the executive part hii bill ikuwe operationalized.
Na ni pesa yenu ambayo tumeweka hapa ndani. Unapoharibu inamaanisha tumeharibu pesa ya umma. Haujaribu pesa yangu mimi kama waziri, hujaribu pesa yetu kama ya serikali peke yake. Ni pesa ya umma ambayo unaharibu.
Marin Tenui for Lunchtime News.
And still on the environment, plastics remain a major challenge to waste management despite Kenya being a leader in promoting waste recycling in the region. Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Principal Secretary Engineer Festus Ngeno has said the PS cited urbanization as the main cause of waste management challenges in Africa.
Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Principal Secretary Engineer Festus Ngeno has said that while Kenya is a leader in promoting waste recycling in the region, plastics remain a major challenge to waste management. Speaking during a conference on promotion of effective waste management practices for environmental conservation and climate change mitigation, the PS noted that based on market needs, the volume of waste that is collected has not been optimally utilized. The Executive Director of Alliance for Science, Dr. Sheila Ochugbu, hailed the East African region for taking the lead in waste management and sustainability, noting that countries like Rwanda and Kenya were the first to institute the ban on plastics.
Driving the creation of green jobs and supporting entrepreneurship in development of waste management, to minimize waste through recycling existing materials and products, and aiding and promoting environmental protection and rehabilitation.
Studies have shown that Africa currently generates about 80% of global solid waste, worth an estimated $8 billion annually if recycled. Yet, just about 11% is recycled, mainly by the informal sector.
Without a healthy biosphere, without thinking about the science and innovation that goes into those, we can't build healthy societies.
Judith Akolo, The Lunchtime News.
And away from environmental conservation, a section of residents in Kashani, Bamburi want the government to help them fend off a private developer who is taking claim on a parcel of land they live in, or on, I beg your pardon. The locals say they are the real owners of the 917-acre parcel of land, and they have lived on it for years. Bamburi Ward MCA Patrick Mbele alleges that some unscrupulous entities have been duping people into buying land in the area only to end up at loggerheads with the locals.
Watu wenyewe hatuwajui, wanajiita gema, hawatuonyeshi karatasi, hawatuonyeshi lolote. Jamani, hiyo ni haki? Hiyo ni haki? Kisha wanasema watakuja kutuvunjia manyumba yetu. Hiyo ni haki?
Na huu ujumbe tunaomba pia serikali kuu na hata serikali ya county, ambaye gavana pia alitoa ujumbe wake ya kwamba wataanza kushughulikia swala hili, angalau pia watu wetu nao waweze kumiliki title deeds na waweze kuishi maisha mazuri kama watu wengine wanavyoishi katika sehemu zingine za nchi yetu ya Kenya.
A section of residents in Busia County has lauded the move to establish an export processing zone, county aggregation and industrial park projects in Nasewa that will help create job opportunities for unemployed youths. The residents say the projects will spur economic growth and fight the high poverty rate in Busia County. At the same time, they implored the youths to enroll in technical institutions to acquire skills in readiness for the industries that will be set up their operations in the region.
Kuelimisha watu wa Mataus na watu wa Busia kwa ujumla to prepare for these industries. Utapata wakianza mjengo, vijana wa kufanya kazi ya ufundi unapata wametoka sehemu nyingine sambali, because we don't have enough artisans. So let the youth wa hii county, wa hii region kwa ujumla wajitahidi by going to TVET. Tuna tuwasiende huko wakiulizwa makaratasi wanasema mimi najua tu ama mimi nitafanya tu kazi ya mkono. Hiyo haisaidia sisi kama locals.
Yeah, we will encourage governor wetu aendelee kufanya kazi na national government. That is what will be remembered.
And in other news, a section of Muslim faithful in Kenya have rejected the proposed Finance Bill 2023 and rallied Muslim politicians not to be forced to support it. Speaking in Mombasa, Kenya Muslim National Advisory Council Chair Sheikh Juma Ngao said the bill, if passed, will hurt both the rich and the poor.
Objections to the proposed Finance Bill 2023 continue piling, with Kenyans expressing reservations on its contents. The Kenya Muslim National Advisory Council has also registered its objection, terming the bill unfavorable.
Kwa hivyo Waislamu wanakataa hii bill, na tunaomba wabunge Waislamu katika bunge la kitaifa wasipigie kura bili hii, kwa sababu italeta madhara makubwa ya maisha magumu kwa Waislamu na ambao si Waislamu kote nchini Kenya. Itafanya mwananchi mwenye familia kubwa ashindwe kulisha familia yake, kuwasomesha, mbali na huduma zingine za kawaida katika majumba yao, na haya ni kuleta madhara.
The council's chair, Sheikh Juma Ngao, said if passed, the bill will push the cost of fuel up by 16%, and this will have a domino effect of subsequently hiking prices of several other commodities.
Finance bill ikishapita bunge, petroli itapanda 16%. Petroli ikipanda ni kila kitu kitapanda bei. Sasa hivi unakuta bei ya bidhaa muhimu tayari ziko ghali. Unga wa sima, unga ngano, sukari, maziwa, mafuta kupikia, maharagwe. Miongoni mwa bidhaa muhimu ambazo zinatumiwa kila siku tayari ziko ghali. lakini finance bill itakapopanda, bidhaa hizi zitaongezeka maradufu na maisha kuwa magumu zaidi.
The council urged Muslim legislators to reject the bill in Parliament. In a related development, Murang'a Diocese Catholic Bishop James Mario Wainaina has urged the government to educate Kenyans on the suggested Finance Bill 2023 before it is implemented. Speaking during the launch of the Accident, Emergency and Outpatient Unit at Mary Immaculate Level 4 Hospital in Kerugoya, Bishop Mario emphasized the need for Kenyans to properly understand what is entailed in the bill before its implementation.
The time to teach, to educate the people, to show them the benefits of the finance bill, socially and even individually. How will a person benefit individually? How will a person benefit even as part of the society from the finance bill? Surely, whenever there is something good, there is always a sacrifice to be made, and but the sacrifice should be made also voluntarily and also with a good heart, that somebody understands the benefits, is going to reap from a certain sacrifice, and therefore to make the sacrifice willingly and without any grudges.
And moving on, the Commission on Administrative Justice, or Office of the Ombudsman, has called on Kenyans to volunteer information regarding alleged corrupt practices at the Department of Immigration if it is to take concrete steps in aiding the Ministry of Interior to eliminate complaints related to passport issuance. CAJ Chairperson Florence Kajuju said a lack of testimonials by complainants was to blame for inaction on corrupt allegation at the passport issuance desk. The Commission had initiated investigations into 9 cases submitted by different complainants, but hit and snag after they failed to present tangible evidence.
According to government data, 426,137 passports were issued in 2022, which was an increase of 55.9% from 2021. However, the heightened demand for passports quickly gave rise to perennial delays in applications and faulty printers compounded by unavailability of booklets.
The Office of the Ombudsman noted allegations suggesting that the Department of Immigration was overcharging citizens for passport services. We've had very many complaints from Kenyans. So the problems have been historical.
Yes, we do agree with you that there are anomalies, there are issues, malpractices in our services, in our interaction and contact with our clients.
At the launch of an investigation report on alleged corruption in the issuance of passports at the Department of Immigration, Commission on Administrative Justice said lack of testimonials by complainants was blamed as the reason for inaction.
The issue of corruption will engage the EACC, but we also need Kenyans to come out about the brokers and also the corruption around your offices. We are going to work together because that is our business.
The CAJ initiated investigations initiated by 9 complainants whose issues were substantiated by the Commission. The department lacked a series of customer redress mechanisms made worse by bureaucratic procurement procedures.
This issue of which are being addressed here, they are just very recent phenomenon. So when we are even talking about policy guidelines in dealing with issues which should not be there, I don't think we need to be going to that direction.
As a public officer, I beg you, Mr. Munyao, can you admit you have a problem within the immigration department? Because you cannot say that you don't require policy guidelines, yet you are setting up a system that then there are emerging challenges like refund mechanism.
Even though Director Munyao is saying that they don't need the procedures for these processes because they are things that never happen. But that is the whole point. They never happened, but they have now happened.
On May the 31st of 2023, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki promised to clear backlogs within 21 days, something the Commission applauds.
We are ready and we are committed to implement every recommendation that you have made.
We appreciate that the Cabinet Secretary for Interior has recognized the problems within the Immigration Department. He's already taken steps to deal with the challenges that are within the department.
To county number 14, where Ambu County Governor Cecily Mbarire has warned bursary committees against awarding bursaries to their cronies. The governor says her administration is looking forward to allocating more funds to cater to learners in colleges and universities. Governor Mbarire added that the fund will give a lifeline to students from poor background.
When that committee ujueni kama mzazi unakura ukiwa wa mwisho. Don't fill that form to benefit your sisters, son, daughter or even yourself. Start from that very vulnerable mtoto ambaye kwa kona fulani katika wadi yako.
Tunataka kwenda digital ndio tuweze kuweka data za kila mtoto katika county aweze kusaidika na tusiwe tunarudia hiyo process kila wakati. Iwe rahisi hata kufuatilia vile mtoto anaendelea kwa shule na yule ambaye amefinyiliwa kabisa ndio tusikue watoto wametoka shule kwa sababu ya fees.
Very well, at about 25 minutes past the top of the hour, that report from Ambu County takes us to our first break. But when we come back, we'll be doing business, and our business editor Betty Kiptum is currently on standby. We have a very interesting interview on technology. You have to watch that. Thank you so much for keeping it KBC. Let's have that break and then we'll be right back with more news.
Iwapo unakohoa, unahisi uchungu kwenye kifua, uchovu kila wakati, joto jingi mwilini, unakosa hamu ya kula au kupoteza uzito haraka bila kukusudia na kutokwa na jasho jingi usiku, waweza kuwa waugua TB.
Settle down everyone. My name is Mr. Sanjay and I'm your new business teacher.
And what do we say? Charity begins at home.
In Njue's case, it is robbery, not charity.
Continue suggesting. Me Julia Molo, I am not contributing anything. Contribution yangu atoe kwa deni.
TB yaweza kuangamiza jamii yako. Usikubali. Matibabu ni bila malipo katika hospitali zote za serikali.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya missed call, bonyeza *811 *961#.
Juzi mimi ninakuja ninatoka nje, ninawacha simu hapo. Nikirudi kutoka raundi napata 4 missed call ya kutoka kwa bibi. Nikimuuliza ulikuwa unapiga unasema nini? Ananiambia eti alikuwa ananipigia, aniambie nimesahau simu. Kumbe bibi ananipenda na mimi.
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya missed call, kama skiza tune yako, bonyeza *811 *961#. *811 *961#.
Unajua mama na mawazo mengi.
Sasa ndo jifungie ndani kwa ndani bila takula.
Mr. Ding, I'm about to lose a big deal. So I have to do something about it.
Sasa si kesi yuko. Angelishughulikia, sio?
Unakumbuka tukiwa hivi? Just the 3 of us.
Huu ni usiku, siwendo kanale.
Welcome to East Africa. This is Safari Rally Kenya.
The WRC Safari Rally is set for June 22nd to June 25th in Naivasha. This year's event, the 7th leg of the WRC calendar, consisting of 19 stages, will see drivers, among them defending champion and series leader Khalid Van Pera, battle in what's considered as the toughest rally in the world. KBC Channel 1 will bring the action to your living room, where a total of only 5 stages will be broadcast live on KBC Channel 1 and the Shakedown exclusive on our Facebook page. Catch the WRC Safari Rally on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back. Ford Kibara has assured the residents of Nakuru of their security following a spate of muggings and armed robberies in Ronda and Kaptembwa areas. More of this and other stories in the county's news roundup.
Nakuru County Commissioner, who regretted that 3 people had been killed in the week-long terror instigated by gangs, says a sweeping overhaul of security managers in the area is complete and the situation is contained.
It is not going to be business as usual. We also need information from our members of the public.
Ninaomba wananchi watulie na waendelee na kazi zao wakijua tumechukua hiyo jukumu kuhakikisha kuna amani.
Meanwhile, detectives from Limuru Sub-County have recovered a stolen truck in Naivasha, Nakuru County that was reported stolen on Sunday night. While confirming the incident, Limuru Sub-County Police Commander Philip Mwanya assured the residents that police are still pursuing the leads to recover the other 2 stolen vehicles.
Ile mtu yote kuna information atusaidie, lakini so far so good. Watu wetu kwa ground na tuko na hakika hizo magari tutapata.
Elsewhere, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi has called upon various leaders in the Western region to make efforts in rescuing the boy child from social vices, claiming that they are the future leaders.
So we must have a male conversation. We cannot and we must not leave that male conversation. For God made male and female.
Actually, the boy child needs to be rescued. Even you saw the last 3 speakers, we are endangered as men. They have all been women. So we need to be rescued.
At the same time, night sand harvesting, loading and transportation will be a thing of the past in West Pokot County if the county assembly will adopt and approve the sand harvesting policy.
Na tumeshirikiana na wakulima wa eneo ya Pokot South kuhakikisha kwamba wameuda mswada ambao utakuja kukuwa wa manufaa kubwa kwa hili eneo, haswa ukizingatia masuala ya uchotaji wa mchanga.
And finally, Mirror farmers and traders from Igembe region, Meru County, are crying foul over the decline in Mirror market.
Pia viongozi wetu wa Meru, tunaomba wakuchanyike mahali moja, washikane mkono kutoka yule mkubwa mpaka kwa mdogo, waongee kuhusu mambo ya miraa.
Very well, there you have it. Time now to switch gears and make sense of shillings and cents in business. On the other side of the studio is our business editor, Betty Kiptum. Betty, what's in the business menu?
Quite a lot, Troy. As you've heard, my name is Betty Kiptum. We shall be talking about matters technology for emergency response, and my interviewee is right in studio. And that conversation will be happening in a little bit. But first, we want to take the viewer to UN in Gigiri, where the United Nations Habitat Assembly has been going on. It started on Monday. It's set to run until Friday. Our reporter Trevor Ngendo has been on the ground and has been updating us. Today, we want to find out what Trevor has found out on the ground. What do you have for us, Trevor?
A very good afternoon to you, Ben, Troy. We are coming to you live from the UN Habitat Nairobi headquarters here, where we have the assembly going on, the second UN Habitat Assembly going on. It has been going on. Today is day 3 or 5, where we are having talks here. We had the president come in on Monday, who spoke a little on a lot of things, including carbon emissions and the conservation of environment and affordable housing. We've also been covering on the affordable housing solutions that are available for people, including at such a time when the country is trying to think about promoting affordable housing to Kenyans as a fundamental right to human beings. I'm here today at the Urban Expo, where we have different exhibitors who are showing their innovations. It has been a place, they're trying to do something that can, to try and come up with solutions that can promote a sustainable urban future through inclusive and effective multilateralism in line with UN Habitat's second assembly theme that is promoting the achieving of sustainable development goals in times of global crisis. So at this exhibition, you can see quite a number of people here who are promoting energy solutions. For example, we have them here. We also have a number of them again. We can see SDG Action Kenya. We have Mazingira Women Initiative. We also have the Mazingira Women Initiative are promoting the recycling of grey water as well as conservation and preservation of food and vegetables, as well as you can see from that end. And what they're saying is that in times of food crisis, that these food crisis most of the time because of the drought as occasioned by climate change, and they're saying that if you conserve this food, then it can be used. This particular product as well, what they're showcasing here, can be used for 1 year. They're saying that it doesn't expire. We also have Slums Going Green and Clean, an organization based in Kibra, Nairobi. I want them to engage Brian here, Brian Nyabuti from the Slums Going Green. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. You're live on KBC Channel 1.
Yes.
I'd love you to please let me know what exactly are you exhibiting here?
We're exhibiting products made out of plastic, polythene to be specific, and we are adding value because they are problematic plastic and they have no solution in the country at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So how is this helping people in Kibra, or of what economic value does this have?
We add value to it, and then it's the waste of the Kibra people that we use it to make the products, and the community that members that we take the waste from, we always sell it to them as a waste bin because they always put their waste in sacks. Yes.
So, for example, if I can request you to please just move this way and tell me what exactly is this and what is it made of, because I can see it's quite a fascinating thing to be exhibiting here today.
So it's a drawer made out of this polythene. So we have made drawers. It's fully cardboard, and you can put your products. It's very tough, and we try to conserve the environment through action. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So tell me about how many people you're talking about. How many youth collect this trash from these slums?
We have 6,800 households that we collect the waste from on twice a week, and then we have 188 a team of youths that work on it on twice a week, and they make sure that they collect all waste, and then now we sort it, and after sorting is when we find the products and we find the raw materials to use in the recycling center.
All right. So I'll come back to you later on, but I can see this is very interesting. So by selling this, then the youth can be able to make an income?
Yeah, the youth can be able to make an income, and it's also another way of raising finance through employment of ourselves.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Again, here we have the Sports Development Peace and Center, where they're promoting, they want collaboration and partnership with NGOs and private sector, national and county government in order to promote urban centers and communities. We'll be looking at this later on as well. But one very fascinating thing, by the way, I'll be showing you later on in our 9 p.m. bulletin. We have a plastic house that is being exhibited just right outside this premise here. I'll be showing you that at 9 p.m. So stay tuned. Back to you, Troy, in studio.
Much. Trevor Ngendo there, coming to us from the United Nations Habitat Assembly with some of the showcases that are happening there during that expo. Interesting to have your cupboard made from polythene paper, and of course you need to stand by to ensure that you catch that story about the plastic house that is being showcased in that area. Of course, speaking about matters innovation, we now want to come to the studio and have a conversation about technology for emergency emergency response. What does that look like, and why is this a game changer in the emergency response industry? To have this conversation with me is Jen Kariuki. She is the head of business development at Swift Response International Group. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Karibu sana. Let's just start there. Why did you decide to venture into the emergency response bit in terms of technology use?
Yes, a very good question. First and foremost, if you look at crime rate in Kenya, from 2020, it's up about 4.4%. If you look at rape cases, one in 6 women will about 6 women will not report. And if you look at penetration of health services, that's again low, it's not accessible. And if you look at mobile penetration, it's gone up 74%. Hence the reason why we felt we need to leverage that gap in the market to be able to provide emergency response services and make them available across the country and in other markets.
Right. Before we go into the solution, what exactly was the gap that was missing? What was missing in emergency response for you to, respond to that gap?
For us, it's the rise in crime. If you look at the death rate, which can be prevented. Yeah, the last statistics were showing that last year alone, that grew to about 100,000, which could have been prevented with emergency response services. Look at COVID. COVID came to teach us that ambulance response services, it's not easy. Sometimes we think we have a medical cover and they'll be able to come to you at your point of need. Sometimes you don't have the money, hence the gap. We felt we needed to come in and leverage that gap to be able to make services more accessible to a bigger network.
So maybe we should now understand how exactly this works, because virtually every Kenyan has a phone. It might not be a smartphone, but a phone. So how does this product work? How do Kenyans access these services?
Yes. So as mentioned, it's a technology-based app which is available on the App Store, Google App Store, and the iOS. Once you download the service, you get access to medical and security. We offer 2 segments. Medical, and by medical I mean evacuation services, that is by road or air. And then security is anything that endangers you as a person. You could be in an Uber or a Bolt and you feel you're not secure, you can press the panic button. And because it's GPS powered, then help will come to you right to where you are, wherever you are across the country. So that's how the app works. In the back end, what we've done, we've partnered with over 400 privately vetted security and medical providers, and as I said, it's powered on GPS. Then you're able to get help as and when. And our promise to our consumers, we are able to get to you in under 15 minutes of pressing the panic button.
And are there any charges to this? I would like to know about the affordability for somebody in Mashinani who is just looking to ensure that they have this kind of service. How affordable is it?
It's quite affordable. For an annual fee of 3,000 shillings, in fact 2,999, you're able to enjoy the service annually, and you have access to unlimited number of emergency response panics that you can raise. So for 3,000 shillings annual subscription, you're able to have the service. We also realize that sometimes you could be in a family setting, and while at work you want to ensure that your home and your household is safe. So we also have a family package which is up to a maximum of 5 people at an annual fee of 15,000 shillings.
Right. So for people maybe who already have medical insurance, which has the emergency response, the emergency response capabilities in that particular insurance, why should they take up this product? Why should they look into having an app for emergency response?
One thing you realize, as you say, sometimes you have a medical cover, and sometimes emergency is sometimes not necessarily catered for in that. And even look at it when you're in need. Let's say, for example, you've gone and gotten an accident in Gilgil. How you don't even know. At that time, your adrenaline is very high. You don't even know where to access. Hence, with our app, you can be able to press and get help as and where you are. The other thing that sets us apart from anybody else in competition, we are the only ones that offer medical and security, both of them at the same time. Yeah, so you are able to access ambulance services, you're able to access security services, all in one platform. Yeah.
For Kenyans, most Kenyans will go, say, to an accident scene and do not know what to do. Or they will be pulling someone who should really not be pulled from a wreckage. Most Kenyans lack that education of the first aid and all that. Is there anything that you're doing since you're in the industry to increase awareness of you know, common people just understanding what to do in an emergency setting?
Yeah, we are doing a lot of consumer education because we understand that's a gap. Yeah, when you talk about emergency response services, people always assume because they have medical cover or they have a security button in your home, they assume you're covered. Yeah, but look at it, you're a human being that's in various places at various times. Yeah, so we realize there's a lot of consumer education that we need to educate people, because for you to see the need for emergency response services, probably you've gone through an attack or a medical situation. So we are doing a lot of consumer education across digital, across platforms like this, just to be able to drive that awareness. Even in scene accident management, yeah, that's a service we offer. When you press the security button, we come to the scene and also offer accident clearance and just taking care of the scenario at that time and to get you to safety. Yeah.
And you said this service is available across the country?
Yes, it's available across the country and beyond borders. Uganda, Ghana, the UK and South Africa, where we started operations. Yeah.
And you said that there are 400 service providers?
Yes, we have over 400 privately vetted service providers, both security and medical.
Are there plans to increase these, and are these public and private institutions, or are they all private?
They are all private, and we want to keep it that way to ensure proper service delivery. And as the network grows, as users grow, then of course we're going to add more service providers, because that's what determines, the more the users, then the more we have to increase our partnerships.
The more the users, so of course you need the numbers.
Absolutely.
Right. So what would be your message to Kenyans now that this product has been in the market for a year now?
Yes.
What is your message to Kenyans?
My message to Kenyans: don't wait for a situation to get you to take the service. It's a service you need. Look at it, you could be in an accident, you could be in maandamano, I mean political situation, whatever it is, or even in a public transport and you're unsafe. So everybody needs emergency response services, and my request is for go out there, check our website and be able to log on to the service. You will thank us one day. You will need the service at one point of time in your life.
Okay, and before I let you go, are you looking to work with the emergency response, say, numbers that Kenyans know, the 999s, you know, and maybe children, there's a children safety number as well. I can't remember the number exactly. Are you planning to look into this?
It's an app-based, so everything is on the app.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can call the police through the app?
Yes. What would happen when you press the panic button? Our call center will call you, and the reason for the call center calling you is so that we can ascertain what's the level of emergency, so that we also know how to arrive. Because sometimes your attacker could be there, and also note that sometimes when your attacker is there, you might not be able to talk. So either way, whether you pick up your phone or not, we still send help to you. And then there's a chat option where you can be able to text and say, I'm not safe, 1, 2, 3, and then we're able to arrive accordingly.
All right. Thank you very much for that information. Of course, quite important for the Kenyan market, and better understanding is always good for everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. That is Jane Kariuki. She is the head of business development at Swift Response International Group. We have talked about the use of technology to enhance emergency response in the country. Quite a much needed service. Now, moving on to other news, tea farmers are set to earn less from exports in the first quarter of this year, as key international markets continue to grapple with forex shortage and conflicts. According to a tea board report, tea exports dipped 26% in the first 3 months of this year, as Pakistan tightened payment terms on all imports to ease the economic crisis occasioned by the forex shortage.
Kenya tea exports in the first quarter of 2023 stood at 99.9 million kilos, representing a 26% drop from the corresponding period last year, where Kenya shipped out 135.5 kilos of green leaf. The drop in exports was occasioned by declined consumption in Pakistan and Egypt, the two leading markets for Kenyan tea. Exports to Pakistan declined by 48%, with Egypt's declining by 33% as the two nations grapple with a forex shortage. Sudan, which is among the top 10 Kenyan tea destinations, also registered a 59% decline, with the sales likely to be further affected due to a breakout of the civil war in the country last month. Prices of the green leaf at the auction also declined, with a kilo fetching $2.39 compared to $2.59 in the same period last year. However, local tea sales improved in the first quarter of 2023, with local consumption standing at 8.91 million against 7.6 million kilos for the same period in 2022. This comes as KTDA affiliated factories will start receiving 584.9 million shillings as dividends accrued from KTDA holding subsidiaries for the 2022 financial year. Benson Njue reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, Kenya Port Authority has secured 3 modern cranes to be used at the port to facilitate loading and unloading operations from ships docking at the port of Lamu. The vessels have now increased the number of essential facilities to 5, with the KPA promising to equip the port for more efficient operations.
2 years ago, when Lamu Port was launched, the immediate goal was to tap business from importers in the Horn of Africa and relieve Mombasa Port of congestion in the cargo transshipment business. To date, that is yet to happen. Data from Kenya Port Authority indicate that Lamu is handling less than 2,020 feet equivalent units or TEUs, with the Saral Port in Oman the main preferred transshipment port. Plans are, however, underway to turn around the fortunes of the second seaport in Kenya, which will be working closely with well-established ports such as Africa's busiest port, the port of Tangier in Morocco. In efforts to further boost Lamu operations, the Kenya Port Authority, KPA, has acquired 3 new ship-to-shore gantry cranes to improve productivity in the loading and offloading of ships. Speaking when he oversaw the offloading of the cranes at the Lamu port, the KPA manager for engineering projects and inspection, Felix Njue, expressed confidence that the 2 cranes will greatly enhance the capabilities of the growing seaport.
Sasa kuongezwa kwa hizi mashini inamaanisha tutapata wateja zaidi ambao wataweza kutaka kuja kufunga shehena zao katika bandari ya Lamu. Kwa hivyo kumaanisha nao kazi itaongezeka. So hiyo ndio matarajio ya idara kuwa tukiongeza hizi equipments ama vifaa, then kuna ile matumaini ya kuwa more investors wataweza kuja hapa na tuta attract business katika Port of Lamu.
Kwa kuongeza umaarufu wa biashara hapa ama uwezo wa hii Lamu Port kuimprove ama kuboresha kazi, management iliamua kununua crane zingine. Sasa tutakuwa na 5 kwa ujumla, ambazo of course tunajaria kwamba biashara hapa itaongezeka.
The state of the art crane at the port. With new additions, the Lamu port will now boast 5 harbour mobile cranes. Wari Mujenga for Lunchtime News.
Now, Erimu Njenga's story there brings business news to a close this particular afternoon, but of course sports news is just on the other side of the studio with Ben Troy Njue. My name is Betty Kiptum. Have yourself a lovely afternoon. Troy, take us to the field.
All right, thank you, Betty, for the business news and also the interview. Let's have a look at sports news now. We begin with soccer, where Muranga Seal will be aiming to move to the top of the National Super League log when they face Naivas today at the Camp Toyoyo grounds. The team is second with 58 points, 2 points behind Shabana, who have a game in hand and who next play Gusii on Sunday. In other matches set for today, Mara will host Kajiado FC, Coast Stima will welcome Darajani Gogo Vihiga United will play Silibwet. Assad will face Modern Coast Rangers, while Mwatate will tackle Kisumu All Stars. Indeed, that's all the time we had for Lunchtime News this Wednesday afternoon. Thank you so much for your valued company. My name is Njue. Brian Muraru has been our sign language interpreter for these live newscasts. Just a quick reminder is that you can visit all our socials for these stories plus much more. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.